Now 4:30 on WKYT this morning, Kentucky State Police say an 11-year-old girl and her father were found in a yard dead. The latest on the investigation coming up this morning.
Severe storms knocked down trees and power lines, even damaging some homes around the Bluegrass. We'll hear from some folks who are cleaning up a mess this morning.
And this morning, we have now learned the victim's name after a deadly motorcycle crash in Woodford County.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning and welcome. It's nice to have you with us on WKYT as we get Tuesday off and rolling. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Another warm one, and let's see how long that'll stick around for us. And here's Micah Harris.
Well, it looks like that front's moving through, and it's pretty mild this morning, but by the afternoon, it is much nicer. We drop our temperatures by about 15 degrees. So we'll see a really nice day in store as we slide off into the afternoon. Still a few showers over toward the east, southeast, and those are slowly but surely making their way on out. Look outside, mid-60s, much cooler air back to the north, and it will be extremely cooler today, and really nice too. 70 degrees, you gotta love that. How long does that last? Well, I'll show you that coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, see you. Thank you.
We're tracking a breaking news alert out of Nepal this morning. That is where another major earthquake is hit near the Chinese border between the capital of Kathmandu and Mount Everest.
It's in a remote area. The U.S. Geological Survey said the quake hit with a magnitude of 7.4. There's no immediate word on how much has been damaged there. It comes after an earthquake that killed more than 8,000 people and injured more than 17,000. We'll keep you updated as details come in here on WKYT this morning. And new this morning, we're tracking a shooting investigation here in Kentucky. It's out of Hardin County. That's where troopers say an 11-year-old girl and her father have died.
An awful situation. Kentucky State Police say the shooting appears to be a murder-suicide. Happened last night around 9 o'clock in Vine Grove. Troopers say they found 49-year-old John Jonas and his daughter in a side yard there. They were pronounced dead at the scene. The autopsies scheduled for later this morning at the State Medical Examiner's office in Louisville.
New this morning, we've learned the name of a man who was killed in a Woodford County motorcycle crash. The Woodford County coroner tells us that 34-year-old Justin Jelensky of Lexington was killed in that wreck. The crash happened around 8 last night on Old Frankfort Pike. Investigators say Jelensky somehow lost control and crashed. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators think speed played a role in the crash.
Well, some people in Madison County had quite a mess to clean up after a round of storms moved through yesterday. This eyewitness video from Tina shows a storm in the Kirksville community. Strong winds knocked down trees, even damaged homes and a barn. WKYT's Monique Blair has the story.
There goes the tree! The storm didn't last long this afternoon in Madison County, but what did come through,
we've got trees down all over the place,
left quite a bit of damage.
when I got down here, you couldn't see the road.
In Kirksville, farm owner J.C. Benton spent hours cleaning up the trees that covered Hagen Mill Road. The storm also ripped the roof off this barn on Curtis Pike, and debris was left scattering many roadways and yards.
I had a wagon up here on top of the hill just a wagon that you pull behind the tractor, and it moved it probably 100 feet, rolled it on its own.
A lot of the damage we're seeing out here in Madison County is much like what you see behind me. Trees just completely split in half, but it's not only roads they're covering, they also hit a couple houses.
There was a great big gust of wind, really came through dramatically.
A tree hit this house in Richmond. Luckily, no one was home when it hit, but a nearby neighbor watched it all unfold.
And this tree cracked and broke and crashed into the house extremely fast and smashed into that house right there.
And back in Kirksville, a tree also landed on this home.
It was bad.
Although the storm that came through left significant damage, we are told there were no reported injuries as a result of the storm Monday afternoon. In Madison County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
All right, thanks so much, Monique. The National Weather Service will survey all the damage later this morning in Stamping Ground at 9:45.
Another round of thunderstorms expected in Texas today as people in Van, that's a small community, and some other towns in the southwestern part of the state clean up from tornadoes and flooding. CBS's Don Champion has the latest from Van, Texas.
Rescue crews in Van, Texas continued search efforts into the night. Even though everyone is accounted for, cadaver dogs are being used to scour debris just in case.
With the amount of damage that we've suffered, it's important that we check and recheck what we've done, just to be sure we don't miss anybody.
The powerful EF3 tornado leveled about a third of the tiny town, killing 60-year-old David Tapley and his wife Brenda. The couple moved to Van after retiring. In the wake of the storm, victims are trying to protect what little they have left. Police put a curfew in place and have set up checkpoints.
I've seen a bunch of folks here today that I've never seen before, and they may be here looking for an opportunity.
In neighboring Arkansas, where an EF2 tornado hit, many people are coming together. In the town of Nashville, a Good Samaritan handed out $100 bills to storm victims.
It's good. I mean, I know it's not a whole bunch of money and a lot of money, but it helps. It's going to help my sister and her kids.
Even more severe weather threatens to hamper cleanup efforts later this week. Don Champion, CBS News, Van, Texas.
So you may be wondering which parts of Kentucky most likely to see a tornado. We looked at data to begin First Alert Weather Week here at WKYT. Since 1950, more than 1,000 tornadoes have touched down in Kentucky. It seems our state has a tornado alley in the southern part of the state. Pulaski County has had 24 tornadoes since 1950, Laurel County 18. During the April 3rd, 1974 outbreak, Pulaski County had 3 tornadoes. It's something folks who live there have not forgotten.
It was the craziest lightning you ever seen. Never seen anything like it since. Purple, green, orange, just really, really unusual lightning.
On WKYT.com, you'll find an interactive map that shows the county-by-county tornado total since 1950. First Alert Weather Week continues later today at 5. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell will sort fact from fiction as he looks at weather myths.
4:37 is the time now on WKYT This Morning, and we're continuing to track the latest this morning after a man was accused of slashing a Lexington Kroger employee in the face. Michael Buckner appeared in court yesterday to answer to assault, robbery, and evidence tampering charges. Lexington police say on Saturday morning Buckner tried leaving the Bryan Station Road Kroger with a cart filled with groceries, but when a store employee asked him for a receipt, police say Buckner cut her face with a knife. According to court documents, in the last 8 years, Lexington police have charged Buckner with drug possession, theft, and shoplifting, among some other things.
Well, this morning, a theft suspect police say escaped from the Madison County Detention Center is back in custody. The Madison County jailer tells us sheriff deputies found 27-year-old Alexandria Smith at a Richmond motel at around 8 o'clock last night. She's now facing a felony escape charge. Investigators say yesterday afternoon, Smith was using one of the jail's phones when a jail employee left the room, but the door of that room did not close all the way. Investigators say that's how Smith got out and then made it outside through an open garage door.
The NFL has suspended New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady for 4 games without pay. It's in response to Deflategate, the incident in which the team was found to have used underinflated footballs for an advantage in the playoffs. When it comes to Tom Brady's punishment for Deflategate, some New England Patriots fans say the NFL got it wrong. Brady's suspension is twice as long as former Ravens player Ray Rice received for his domestic violence incident.
Everything went down with Ray Rice and all the things earlier in the year. Really, I've had it with the league, the way it operates. And this is just a joke. It's an embarrassment, really.
Going against a woman and a man and then someone who had a deflated ball, there's no sense.
Tom Brady is expected to appeal his punishment. Time this morning is 4:39, and WKYT This Morning is just getting started.
A staggering number of teens say their boyfriend or girlfriend has abused them. We'll have some more disturbing statistics on Moms Every Day after the break.
We're looking at those temperatures outside this morning, pretty mild, but that humidity is way down, and so are those temperatures. I'll show you how far we go coming up.